Hey, hey, what's happening, boys? I see Jimmy Jets is here. I forgot the 12 pack upstairs, huh, Jimmy? um, I'm out in the garage. The wife doesn't let me smoke cigarettes in the house, so I just I sit out in the garage. So all I gotta do is just run over to the fridge right there, and I get my beers. Came prepared, bro. Bushmaster in full effect. All right, boys, it's Sunday. I didn't do a whole lot today. I had a good time watching some of the other guys on their streams and stuff. I took a good long nap on the couch. That was pretty awesome. Didn't have to work, so that's always a good day for me. Um, there's no football, so I don't know what to do with myself. What should I do with myself if there's no football? I felt like taking a little drive out in the country, but that would entail doing stuff. You know? Does that make any sense at all? What's up, DTN? Anthony has a little bit of family stuff to be doing right now. So I imagine he's going to hop on later. So I threw the StreamYard in the chat if you guys want to call in and have a talk with me. I enjoyed Connor's show a minute ago. That was pretty fun. That kid he's a little hellcat, isn't he? he won't let anybody get their point across if it's different than his. He goes at them, which I love because Connor's got the facts, you know. But he's fun. Those kids are all pretty fun. I like Jack. He seems like he's pretty laid back. Kind of looks like that kid from what was that show where the little dude had his girlfriend Winnie? Oh, come on. What was that show? Come on, you guys. Man, had that kid named Fred as the actor. Fred Savage was the actor. Kind of looks like Fred Savage. I don't know. I guess so. Well, that Chris Grasso, he looks like my son's best friend. He's got the same hair and everything. What is it? Jack reminds me from the character from Old Squad or Odd Squad. Odd Squad. Nice, dude. That's pretty funny. DTN, would you like to call in? I've been wondering if you got your new Jets flag yet. So Jimmy Jets, the other day I was teasing DTN, telling him he should buy a flag for his dorm room there. I started out with the Steelers. I think I went through the 49ers, the Bengals, the Browns. I told him all kinds of teams. But when I got to the Jets and told him he needed a good Jets flag, that one stuck. I had other people saying it. Come on, man. You know you want one. Did you ever find a good Patriots flag or poster or anything, though? Because I noticed you don't have a lot of stuff, like Patriots stuff. Check this out, man. Here's some stuff. This is from like 1992, maybe 95. I think I got this same time I got my Priest Holmes jersey. No, I got it before Priest. So this is an old sweatshirt. I can't believe it even still hangs on, man. This thing probably should have fell off me by now, you know. You only got hockey merch, bro. Not a lot of Patriots merch. It seems to me, as you get older, you'll collect more stuff. That's how my life went. I think that's why we buy houses, because you start getting too much stuff. You got to move out of the little apartment, get a big house so you can put all your stuff in. Then you go get more stuff. At least that's kind of how I did it anyway. That's how Anthony was doing it too. Oh, I don't have any referral. Oh, Cheryl referral link. What is this? Boom, there we go. What is this? That's pretty cool. You guys can, if you get StreamYard, you get a discount. I kind of like StreamYard, man. I've never had any problems with this, and I can have up to 10 people on at the same time. It's a pretty good way to stream. I really enjoy it. Dude,
The broom. Where's the broom?
I have no idea where the broom is. Why don't you look right next to you, maybe? Oh, cool. Bye-bye. I think Mom's making my 15-year-old work. So he comes out here to bug me, asking me where the broom is. Like I would know. I don't ever sweep stuff with the broom. My stuff's either out here in the garage, so I've got my great big shop broom, or my room's carpeted, so the rest of that's up to the kids to clean the house, as far as I'm considering. In the 70s, they had kids so that they didn't have to do stuff. I was basically an indentured servant. All right, so what would you guys like to talk about? You guys got anything you want to talk about? Anything good happen? Anything bad happen? I know something that happened. There was a kid from LSU. What was his name? Oh, here it is. Kyron Lacey. He's 24 years old, from LSU. Decent player. I wouldn't say he was like any sort of top guns or anything, but apparently the kid got into a car accident, a head-on collision. So he was out late at night, driving crazy, and smashed head-on to like a 78 or something year old man, and killed the guy. Jumped out the car and ran off. And then so the police caught him. And here's the sad part. They don't explain how he died. They just say it was a tragic death, which tells me in my life, every time I've seen the news say stuff like that, it might have been a suicide. That sucks, man. I don't care how sad you get. Give me a call. Give me a call. Come on here. We can figure this out. It's the world's a crazy place, but in my experience, no matter how bad it was, I only had to wait like 3 years, maybe 4 years, tops 5. And my whole life was better. Just everything was better. And I know we hit some slumps in our lives that make you depressed, Some of it is, self-induced, like that poor kid from LSU. I mean, he induced his own sadness there because he was doing stupid shit. I don't like suicide. I think doing that is a horrible thing to do to all of your loved ones, because they'll carry it forever. That's something that the ones that you leave behind will never forget. And it's hard for them to forgive you for doing that too. There's better ways, man. I have a big problem with not enough people understanding that these boys from the military come back and they've got a lot of hard problems too, and so they end up having those thoughts a lot of times. And I just pray that they come and find us so that we can show them how we can all get along and have a good time together. Did you heard that too, DTN, that it was a suicide? Man, that's too bad, because it looks like he was a good, strong kid. He had a lot of potential, and he had just declared himself for the draft when it was all going down and everything. But man, look, accidents happen. But if you're out drinking and driving, or if you're on some dope and you're driving and stuff and you wreck into somebody, that's on you. That's not an accident. You made a valid choice to get in that car. And being sad because you're caught is bullshit. But being sad that the old fellow died, that's legit. I just think that there's a better way. There's counseling, there's got to be something that can help us out so we can stay here together. I don't like suicide at all. It makes me sad when people are so sad. I prefer, I'll just stuff it away. This is the Midwest way. We just pack all that sadness away, and then we blow up and smash a picture at a family reunion or something. My family reunions were crazy. We got a lot of Danish and Scots and Irish and stuff like that. Basically, if you took everything that's white and put it in a blender, blend it up, and then dump it out, that's me. I'm a white milkshake. Yeah, Jimmy Jets, it is a mental thing for sure. Sometimes people handle stuff different. There's been times when I was pretty sad, and people have the thoughts, God, it'd be just easier. But just wait, because shoot, maybe tomorrow you meet that love of your life. But if you do that today, now you don't have the opportunity to meet a soulmate. Soulmates don't have to be a girlfriend, because I've had best friends. My friend Chris, when he was alive, we were basically brothers. I mean, different parents, but we knew everything about each other. We worked together. We spent months in the mountains together, for a job. And if you're alone in the mountains with someone for that long, you build a bond, like a really unbreakable bond. And then he found a little girlfriend, and he fell in love with her, and then found out she was a little cheating hussy. And of course he let the emotions get a hold of him, right? And he took off on his Harley Davidson, and boy, I know I got a couple of these Harleys, and if you're angry, it does what your emotion is. If you're all excitable, it does that too. And I don't know how they change like that, but those Harleys will do exactly what you want them to do. And he went around a corner a little bit fast and hit some loose rock and gravel that was on the road, and ended up over on the railroad tracks. And that's where he knocked himself into a coma. And I had to make the call to unplug him. But every day that I went into that hospital and I looked at those x-rays of his brain, the synapses firing were less and less and less every day. So more of the brain just started turning black. And so I knew that there was no way, after the age of like 24, there's no way that your body's reproducing those brain cells anymore. There's like a cutoff. Stem cells are a different thing, but your brain, after a certain age, will not replace those cells. My problem, personally, is I've only got 3 brain cells left, and they wrestle nonstop. So I have to dull those little bastards down a little bit. Brokeback Mountain. Jimmy, I was a land surveyor for 22 years of my life. And we basically hiked and summited mountains for a living. We did the great big pipelines, and we did the communications, all the fiber optics through the country for your Android phone. So basically, we set up Android we had already been on the contract for about a decade before you started seeing those Android commercials, 15 years ago, right? So, yeah, we never did any kind of brokeback stuff, bro. Heterosexual life, mate. Best friend, I guess, is the easiest way to put it. But yeah, there wasn't no Brokeback Mountain. I do believe you'd get your ass kicked around these parts if you tried something like that. I'm not against people being themselves, but they can be themselves somewhere else, right? That's good to know, he says. So I'm glad that Jimmy's in here. Jimmy, I've been a low-key Jets supporter for a lot of years, man. I like the Jets. I think actually I like the Jets fans a lot better than I do the crap that I've had to go through watching the Jets as my second favorite team, right? So I could sit around, I could watch them and watch them and watch them and hope and hope and hope, but they really didn't treat you guys very well for a very long time in my life. And I'm seeing something now that really is impressing me. So Aaron Glenn has just he's brought in some guys, man, like some coaching guys for the positions, right? You already had a few of them that were really good anyway, right? But as soon as Glenn stepped in that door, man, he started changing that feel of the Jets. The feel, it's like a cultural feel that's different now, man. That is neat to me. Gosh, I really hope it works too, because I think it's crazy when people talk about the ceiling for the Jets this year is like freaking 6 wins or whatever. That's a crock of shit. The ceiling's undefeated. We haven't even started the season. Every single team has a ceiling of 17-0. You know, I mean, actually 20-0. Every single team could go 20-0 this year. Not everyone, but that's the ceiling. The floor, on the other hand, is what I'm trying to look at. And I think that the least amount of wins the Jets should get this year, and I know you got a tougher schedule, but you guys should definitely, at minimum, pull 6 to 7 wins. But as far as the ceiling, man, I'd really like to see the Jets hit 10 wins this year. Maybe just barely miss the playoffs, but then make the big push next year. What do you think about that, man? Hit me up in the chat with that. What do you guys think the floor and ceiling for the Jets are? I'm going to say 6 wins is the floor, that's bottoms, and 11 wins is the ceiling for this coming season. My Chiefs, I think the floor is probably 11 wins, and then the ceiling is another Super Bowl. You like 10 wins? I like 10 wins. I would like to see the Jets get 10 wins. I'd like to see them get 11, and then that would probably put them in the playoffs. All right, so Jimmy says, I like the 10. Yes, you can't see more than 10. I know that's going to be rough, dude, because you guys have a hard schedule and everything. What's DTN got going on here? 8 or 9, 5 to 6. All right, so we're all feeling about the same way about this team. This right now looks more like a let's get stuff in order kind of a season. You know, let's get that franchise quarterback, bring him in, and we'll use Fields until said franchise quarterback starts fitting in. My thing I told Connor, I don't know, a few weeks ago, I said Milroe, and he starts by week 10. That would be cool, man. That would be cool to get him in there, have your coaches develop him up and get him ready to go, and then he goes and takes the job from Justin Fields. That'd be pretty cool. You think the Chiefs can go 12? All right, so yeah, the Chiefs have won 12 or more since Alex Smith was there. I don't think we've had less than 12 wins in a season since, well, maybe 11 one time. That was with only the 16 games, I believe. What's this say here? Do you know that Jack and Chris were betting on the ceiling and floor it would look like? They were betting? Yeah. Okay, so that's what I was talking about. I was seeing those guys do it. I didn't know they were betting on it. What are they betting? Popsicles or Legos? Are they betting Pokemon cards? Those kids are a little bit young to be going down to the casino like me, bro. What's Jimmy got going on here? Kelsey be the tight end or the okay, so Big Travis has really been working out, brother. He's they bet $50. So they bet $50 on who was the closest then? Is that what you're saying there? And then I'll get back into my Travis Kelsey. So a $50 bet for those kids that's a lot of lawns to mow. It's a lot of garbage to take out. I guess Connor would have it, though. He seems to be making a mint on the show, huh? So as far as Kelsey being the old tight end that he used to be, I mean, last year he kind of looked just wore the hell out, didn't he? But I think that was more all of the other injuries, and everyone knew what Kelsey was going to do. We all know what Travis is going to do. The problem is he didn't have anybody pulling those defenders off of him so he could get open. That, and he did look like he was about a step slower, but he's always looked like that. I mean, it's surprising how long his strides are, so it makes him look a lot faster. But he's so big that as he's reaching with each leg, it doesn't look like it's moving very fast. But he is, I think Trav is going to be fine. I think this might be his last season in football. I do believe he wants to go out with a bang, and so he's been in the gym and he's been in the facility working out, right? So right now all the receivers are down in Texas with Mahomes, trying to get practiced up, figure each other out. This is how Mahomes does it. I think it seems to work as long as they don't go getting in trouble. Those little buggers always get in trouble. I want a year where my guys don't get in trouble. So as far as fixing the O-line, bro, that was taken care of in the offseason, in the free agency. And this is what a lot of people aren't saying, because, I mean, nobody really pays attention to other people's teams, except for if you're in it every day doing that. I've been paying attention to the Jets, but you guys are my second favorite team. DTN can come on here, and I know a little bit about the Patriots, but not a whole lot. So he gives me the good stuff on the Patriots, right? I got Giants guys that come in here and give me the goods on the Giants, and a lot of the teams, right? But as far as the O-line, that's fixed. We're going to go into the draft, and we're just going to take whoever the hell we want. Whoever is the best, doesn't even matter what position, because you got to rotate every position about every 3 years anyway. There's Mike. Yes, sir. Mike gives me some good stuff about them Giants. Speaking of the Giants, Mike Jones, are you guys going to take Gene T? Are the Giants going to pull him like right away? I got a feeling you guys are looking at him. Either the Giants take him and then wait, and then next year pick up Arch Manning. I really think that might be one of your deals. Is that a possibility? You think that Gene T kid might be a New York Giant this year, bro? Kind of curious, man. You guys are welcome to call in if you would like. Let's see if I can do this again here. Copied. There you go. You guys are welcome to call in if you would like. We're okay with that. I just want to hear what you got to say, man, because I don't have anything other than I hope we pick up that great big offensive tackle Simmons in the draft. I like him. I'm hoping Carter, huh? You say you're going to pick up Carter? Okay, so are you do you believe that the Giants are waiting to get Arch Manning? Because he's probably going to go right away, man. No, but Jimmy, nobody in a draft ever solves any problems for the team they get drafted for instantly. It's always a process. This is the way I look at it. If your team is bad enough that you get the first pick, well, that means you got a lot more problems than just one fancy draft pick is going to help. It comes down to coaching. If you can get good coaching and stuff, in my opinion, personally, the greatest coaching staff can take anybody, no matter if they're the last pick or the very last pick or, second to last pick or whatever. No matter what pick you get him, be able to develop him and still do very well. That's what Kansas City has had to do for like 7 years now. I think the Giants do have some pretty good coaches over there, but I think they are probably a little bit better set up than people really expect, man. I think they're just a few key players away from being one of the best teams in New York, I mean, I know the Bills are going to be tough. That's got to be hard being back east, being in the East and having the Bills just dominate like that. I guess it's probably just as hard for like the Chargers, Broncos, and Raiders too. And it was hard for the Chiefs when the Broncos were just always winning it. And then when the Broncos wouldn't take it, then that's when the Raiders had come out of nowhere and get a damn Super Bowl, or the Chargers came out of nowhere once and got a Super Bowl on us. So you don't think he'll declare in 26? So wait, he'll be a senior, isn't he? A senior this season? I thought he was going to be in the draft for next year. I didn't know. I thought he was ready to come out of there. But if he's going to have to play, if he wants to stay in college then and take that extra year of school, that's probably a good move. NFC East is tough, bro. That's not an easy to. All the divisions have a couple of teams that just kind of you wonder about, but then a couple of teams that are just probably going to come to your house and kick your ass. I mean, all the divisions have at least one that could just out of nowhere kick your butt. I wouldn't mind seeing the Giants do that, man. The pardon me. So the Commanders make it just a dirty bugger for you guys to really make any pushes right now. They got all the money in the NFC East. They've got really good talent. That's gonna be something to see, man. I wonder how they're gonna do. I picked the Commanders to actually take your division, but I wonder if something could happen to cause the Giants to come in second and maybe even hit a playoff. But I'm thinking you guys have a plan that's coming together maybe next year, not this year. I see a couple of moves being made, but they look like future moves. Not saying he won't, but there was talk he wants the clear-cut number one quarterback. Oh, okay. He wants to be that number one. So he might wait till 26. Yeah. Dude, he's a Manning. What the hell's he? He doesn't have to wait. So he just wants to be the best quarterback in the draft. I can see wanting to do that, but that seems a little arrogant to me. Almost makes me hope that he's not. Anybody that wants to be that clear cut seems like a pompous dick. Like, how about just go out and do good? How about just go out and do good? Why do you have to try to show up, uncle or whatever? He wants to be the Cam Ward. Okay. Yeah. Well, now come on, though. How many of the actual number one quarterbacks in the draft have gotten a Super Bowl ring? Not lately. They haven't, because the guy that was picked 11th has been winning a lot of Super Bowls. That's Mahomes, by the way. So it seems to me rather than be cocky and then trying to wait until there's worse talent to make yourself look better, that seems a little bit like you probably know you suck and you won't make it, That's what that seems like to me. So how about just go out there and kick some ass and take it instead of trying to force the situation? How about just go out there and make the situation yours? I just I don't know if that doesn't sound tough, man. That I don't know if that would intrigue me seeing a guy that was like, "No, man, these guys in this one are better than me. I'm going to wait a year so that these guys that aren't as good are my competition." That seems like dropping weight to wrestle. It seems like losing 20 pounds to wrestle little guys. And they're probably going to kick your ass. You're going to be all tired and slow because you lost all your protein and all your water. He's cocky. I mean, yeah, totally. That's what I see too. It's because he's a Manning and he wants to keep the Mannings way up in that upper echelon of the football families. And honestly, Eli is the Manning that I like. Like that, I like Eli Manning. I never really cottoned to Peyton. I always thought Peyton was kind of a goofy dork that was really bossy. And Eli was just like this, "Hey man, let's see if we can do it, guys," and like, just like he wanted it, and I don't I don't know, man. I was kind of hoping Arch would be cooler than that, cooler than trying to slough a year so that he could look better later. I just seems like kind of a seems like he knows he sucks. It sounds like something that Deion Sanders would make Shadur do, but he didn't make Shadur do that. So it sounds like I would almost rather have Shadur Sanders and Deion's baggage over Arch, because Arch sounds like a little pussy. I'm gonna wait a year to have an easier class to come through. Wow, man, who does that shit? Like, come on. Okay, in Nebraska, when I was a kid, I was born and raised in Nebraska, and then I moved to Kansas for upper schools. Um, in Nebraska, they held us all until we were like, if your birthday was a certain time, they didn't let you start school when you were 5. They wanted you to wait till you were 6 or 7 so that you'd be bigger for high school football, bigger for college football and stuff. That's a chintzy way to do it, and that's on the parents, because I don't think that's good for the kids. But at the same time, that's the same idea as what I'm hearing about this Arch Manning kid. So Arch is a junior, then he might as well stay. So if he is a junior, so he does have a whole other year, fucking go to college, man. Don't let don't let anybody say, "Oh, he's waiting for an easier group of quarterbacks so he could just be number 1." I just go to college, prove that you're the best in the quarterback position, and make it yours. That's the way I look at it, man. Yeah, okay. Jimmy has a really good point here. The Mannings do that. Like when Eli said he just refused to go to the Chargers. So then they had to take, who'd they get? Was it Drew Brees? Was it Drew? I don't remember. Or was it Rivers? I think they had, I don't remember, man. That's been a while. God dang. Eli was in the league for a while. But yeah, when he said he wasn't going to go to the Chargers, I was like, "That's bullshit, dude. That's bullshit." There's a reason that we have the draft, and it's not so you can fucking pick and choose where you get to go. That's a crock of shit. It was Rivers, yeah. So that's when they got Pip Rivers, and then I like to call him Pip, and then he took Drew Brees' job, and I think they didn't like Drew Brees because he was short. But where did Drew Brees go? He went to New Orleans and went to Super Bowls and got rings and stuff, right? And yeah, Rivers was notorious for throwing your team the ball at the end of one of his games. Like, and he would do it a couple of times. Just wait till the end of the game. I don't care if the Chargers are ahead. Just relax because Rivers is going to throw us the ball 2 or 3 times at the end. We'll get the win. I think Rivers had almost as many interceptions as he has children. I figured he was either Catholic or Mormon, breeding every time that his team lost, you know. Let's see. Gosh, you know, I liked the Chargers back in the Phillip Rivers day. He would blow up, but I want you to think about this. As many times as Phillip Rivers blew up on the sideline, he is one of the guys they never got on film saying a cuss word. That's pretty crazy, huh? Not once. Like I think there was only like 3 or 4 guys in the entire NFL up to that point that had never even been seen on camera cussing. So like he'd go over there and he'd stomp and spit and holler and stuff, but he never said bad things. Respect, I guess. That was funny. Heck yeah, man. Let's see what else we got in the news. Dak Prescott feeling good about where he's at with his injury recovery. I hope he does all right. I never really thought Dak was better than a backup. What do you guys think about Dak Prescott? In my opinion, he's probably one of the greatest backup quarterbacks in the NFL, but they got him starting, you know. I think Joe Flacco's better than Dak Prescott. I'll put it there. That's why Joe has been such a great backup. Yeah, I never thought Dak had the juice. He's had flashes of some great stuff, and he's had great teams around him. But I guess what I'm trying to say is I never thought that Dak Prescott was going to be able to take Dallas anywhere deep in the playoffs. You know, maybe get a playoff win here and there, but I never thought he was going to be good enough to get a ring. I had high hopes for a couple of guys. Yeah, Joe Flacco just signed with the Browns. What's up, DF? So yeah, Flacco just signed with the Browns, not the Colts. I think that changes a lot of my ideas about the strength of the AFC North, because I think that actually changes some stuff, puts the Browns actually closer to contention. Joe's good enough to beat those other teams in the North. I don't know if he's good enough to take the North. I got a feeling either the Ravens or the Bengals will do that. But he might be able to get up there and contend pretty good. At least give him hell, you know. DF, what do you think? What do you think about Dak Prescott? Do you think that he's ever going to take Dallas anywhere? Or do you think he's doomed to be stuck in a position of bad ownership? Like that franchise owner needs to just go. Just go get on a plane and go somewhere and retire on a beach. Get those drinks that have the little umbrellas on them and sit there on a lawn chair and relax for the rest of your days. Just because you're fucking up the Dallas Cowboys, you know. King of the North. I don't think Joe Flacco could be king of the North. He's more of a, gosh, if we're gonna do Game of Thrones references, Joe Flacco is kind of like Robb Stark. Every time he looks like he's gonna kick some ass, all of a sudden he's beheaded and there's no more of him on the show, you know. Overrated trailer trash. So that's kind of my point, bro. Is Dak was never really great. He had good supporting casts that probably should have done better, but I think they were hindered by Dak Prescott. Uh, then he gets hurt too, like a lot, man. I think every year he goes down these days and misses at least a game. Starting to smell like Tony Romo around here. Like when Tony Romo was a quarterback, you could tell when Dallas was going to lose because Tony'd be on the sideline crying. You know, Romo cried more than Derek Carr, bro. So yeah, Tony Romo was better, but as soon as he started getting beat, he did the same thing that Tyreek Hill does, fakes that limp, and goes and sits down and cries. You know, Romo cried more than anyone I ever seen. God, I just knew I knew Dallas was going to lose every time I seen Romo cry. And you know, when Romo first started doing the commentation on the NFL games, it was intriguing because he wasn't putting any opinions on anyone else. He was saying this looks like this would be a good move in this situation. Try this play, and he was basically calling the plays that were coming. That was cool. But once he started putting his little opinion in, I was like, Romo, now you and Aikman can just go hop on the bus and get on out of here because I don't need your opinions, right? He is mobile, but not Josh Allen mobile. Not many people are Josh Allen mobile. The worst thing you guys are doing is making Josh Allen run more than running backs. I mean, you're going to get him killed. But yeah, Dak was never close to Josh. That kid can scoot. He's got once he's got that defense spread out and he takes off running, he's too big to tackle, man. You gotta have help. You gotta have a couple of guys trying to take him down. But yeah, never as mobile. So Mahomes mobile is like it's like watching a toddler run, but really fast. You don't think that they're going to get away that quick, but at Disneyland, you turn around, that little guy's gone. You know, just gone. Yeah, always had gifted receivers and stuff. That's exactly. It's the supporting cast. It's like what Lamar Jackson needs to keep himself going. So Lamar is good enough to go to the playoffs if he's got a great supporting cast. But I don't think you could stick Lamar on. Okay, I'm just going to say the Patriots. You couldn't stick Lamar Jackson on the Patriots and have the Patriots over 500 team, right? They're going to still struggle with him. You could put Josh Allen on the Patriots and that team's going to go to a playoff, right? Put Mahomes on the Patriots, that team's going to go to a playoffs. So, yeah, there's the different caliber for sure. That's what I'm looking at here. Let's see. Allen hits more. Yeah, Allen can take more hits than Lamar for sure. But that also makes it dangerous to Josh. I mean, because he goes out and he puts on that goddamn cape and he goes and tries to win it. He's like Josh Allen and Matthew Stafford have a lot of similarities in my mind. Just because they both have that, oh, I'm gonna go win this thing, you know, I'm gonna do it, you know, just give me the ball, right? Just that. There's not much quit in guys like that, you know. The good Lord just decided not to put much quit there. He put a lot of win, but just didn't put a lot of quit. I think Lamar has a bunch of quit in him. Dak is over. I think Dak got a double portion of quit put in him. Like a baby deer trying to walk. You ever seen a baby moose run? So we got a lot of moose out here. I moved out to Utah a while back from the Kansas, and When you're following a baby moose on these mountain trails, their little legs just flip around when they run. It looks goofy, man. I've never seen anything like it. Their legs look like they're unhinged. So yeah, I can see Mahomes kind of runs like that shortstop in baseball or something. You know, these guys aren't leaning down into it. They're leaning back because their legs are going so hard, right? Yeah, DF 100%. I'm on your side. Josh is absolutely in all phases better than Lamar. You guys whipped Lamar in the playoffs last year too, just to put him back in his place. You guys made him so mad he tried to. He's suing Aikman for the number 8. He sued Dale Earnhardt Jr. for the number 8. Like, dude, you're not cool enough. You're not cool enough to be suing people for your font on your number. Like, I don't know where this guy, he's an absolute train wreck. He's a dumpster fire of a PR. Like, his PR is just a dumpster fire. Public relations cancer. I like him. I think he's actually pretty cool when you see him in the interviews. He's probably a great guy. But just trying to do that stuff is, hey, now, Mahomes is great, but Brady's the GOAT. I'm not arguing with that at all. I've been adamant that this can't be called a dynasty until I've seen 10 years with Mahomes. That's just my cutoff, man. If you got a quarterback that stays there for a decade, let's look at what he did. Then we could talk about if it was a dynasty, you know. So Aikman's run, I don't think that was a dynasty. You know, Drew Brees, one of my favorite quarterbacks to ever walk a field. I loved watching Drew Brees, but never had a dynasty. Mahomes, not a dynasty yet. And I stress yet because right now, no other team has ever gone to 7 AFC championships in a row, ever. Sounds like a dynasty, but I'm not going to tag it until I've seen 10 years. So even if they lose out and don't go to the next 3, 7 out of 10 years going to the AFC championship sure as hell sounds like a dynasty, but I need those last 3 years on there. What's this here? Joe Montana. And you know what? Honestly, Mahomes has better records and stuff, has got more W's. And I mean, Montana was great, dude. Great. Until he came to the Kansas City Chiefs. That's when I was a little sour in my mouth there. I didn't like the taste of that. But yeah, I'll call it a dynasty because like I said before, once they've played for so long, you look back on their career and you go, I'll be gosh danged. That was pretty stinking good. Sure feels like a dynasty. I'll call it a dynasty. Can't compare the numbers. I mean, I can't because I'm not looking at them. I'm just saying, in my opinion, I feel like Mahomes is better, and he's also topped him for playoff percentages and stuff like that. And honestly, Montana, wow, he had a long run, but he sure did have to get a lot of surgeries. Like he was the plastic man after a while. He had plastic hips, plastic ankles, plastic knees. You know, how many concussions? But what an awesome quarterback, though. I'm just super impressive. Awesome quarterback. So who else has had a dynasty? I'm going to say the Patriots have. It feels to me like the Steelers have because they have gone, 17 years and never had a losing record? That feels like it's not caliber of dynasty, but that's pretty freaking boss, man. Trying to think of who else had a dynasty here. In the 70s, it felt like it was either the Cowboys or the Steelers. 70s through the late 70s, I mean. Terry Bradshaw, he's got some rings, baby, So, as far as the Broncos, they made it to playoffs a hell of a lot. And they went to Super Bowls and lost them. And then it felt like finally the league was like, oh, Jesus, let's just give John Elway a win so he'd get the hell out of here, right? The Broncos were not a dynasty. They were one of the juggernauts, but they weren't the dynasty juggernaut because all they got was 2 Super Bowls. Then they had to wait until they got a gunslinger like Peyton Manning to get another Super Bowl. So, I mean, I can't call the Broncos a dynasty. The Giants, Eli got his couple of rings, but that just really didn't feel like it was a dynasty either. It felt like it was a great group of guys, and they made a hell of a run there for some years. I'm not going to call that a dynasty. I'll say the Cowboys had a dynasty back with, and I'm going to call it a dynasty for them because, God, it just felt like the Cowboys were in the Super Bowl all the time. 49ers, definitely the Patriots had a 20-year run that just, I mean, I got tired of it, man. It was just every year, do the Patriots have to kick all of our ass, I never hated them or nothing because it was impressive. And I think this Chiefs team, give me a couple more years and I'll acquiesce and maybe call that a dynasty. So, yes, he was a hired gun. That's basically what I'm calling it when they brought in a quarterback that they thought could take them to a Super Bowl, and he did year 2. First year he didn't. That upset him, so he came back and got them a Super Bowl the next year. So that's a hired gun, I mean, if you're good enough, at first you're a hero. If you're quick enough on the draw, but then after you've taken out so many of them, pretty soon you switch to being a villain. I think that's what happened there. Mm-hmm. That's a merc. Okay, mercenary, hired gun. Yeah, I think Old West stuff, I guess. Talking 80s. Montana Dynasty, Brady, an era later. Whoa. But 14 more years of play. Right. So there's different things that you can add or subtract from DF, but I'm just thinking in my heart, who am I calling dynasties? I'm not calling the Chiefs a dynasty yet. That's my team. I'm going to judge the shit out of my team. I love them all, but I'm never going to say that it's a dynasty until I've seen 10 stinking years of doing very well. That's my cutoff for my team. I realize that some of these other teams, they maybe had a 6-year run of greatness or a 5-year run of greatness, right? But I guess maybe I'm holding my team to too high of standards there. Yeah, Montana was a dynasty, and like I said, I mean, how many years did Montana win a Super? Or how many times did Montana go to a Super Bowl in his career? Because it felt like they were there all the time. It felt like Dallas was there all the time in their day. Felt like the Patriots were all the time for almost 20 years. Given every other year they'd be there. Felt like. So I guess maybe I'm being too picky and too hard on the Chiefs because 7 AFC championships in a row, win or lose, that's pretty fucking boss. So out of those 7 championships, they went to 5 Super Bowls and won 3 of them. God dang. That's pretty good, dude. What's this say? Time's running out. So who is Hemoles? Are you saying Mahomes? um, I don't think time's running out. He's still got a couple more years on his contract. My coaches are still there. I see the Chiefs giving it hell to try to make another run. Don't know if they'll get there or not, but I can't count them out. We still got really good guys on the team. Filled a bunch of gaps. Gonna probably draft really well. We seem to get pretty lucky in the drafts. And I don't know if that's luck. I think maybe it's just being able to develop the guys, I guess. So Brady and Mahomes are the only quote dynasty teams in the NFL. Um, gosh, that's really hard to wrap my head around that. 'Cause I like Joe Montana, and I like to believe that 49ers team was a dynasty. You got Twitter on there. Wrap my head around that take. I will. I'm gonna copy that and I'm gonna save it and then I'll watch it later, bro. I don't know if I could put it. I don't think I'm gonna put it on here. Well, boys, who who out of these new hot quarterbacks that we're seeing these days, who do you think has potential to create a dynasty? What team has potential to create a dynasty? I'm seeing the Commanders coming on strong, and I've seen the Vikings slowly work their way up and get a little bit better every year. So I don't know who's going to take over if all my coaches retire. Like, is it going to be the Bills? Can you guys do that? I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing the Bills go and get a goddamn Super Bowl ring one of these days. Not this year. I want another one. But soon. But yeah, Richie Fresh. There you go. So you're seeing it like I'm seeing it. Jaden Daniels. That kid's got some juice, man. Um, Out of all the new quarterbacks, I don't know. I don't know who I'm going to call a dynasty. Like the only team that, in my opinion, that has been consistently there, and they're just stuck in the wrong era. They're stuck in the Mahomes era. Is the Bills? You guys are just every year. I just know the Bills are going to make it. So you guys are kind of hosed because it's Patrick Mahomes era and Andy Reid era. So that God, that'd be like being the best team out there, but then you got to play fucking prime Joe Montana every year. That'd suck, dude. I'm sorry, guys. I kind of like the Bills too, and that's a fact. You could ask my bro and everything, man. I've never had any bad intentions or bad feelings about the Bills, but you guys could have had the dynasty if there was no Patrick Mahomes, because we would have just still been in mediocrity. You got to take off, DF. Thanks for stopping by, brother. Good to see you, man. So, you think none of them? Yeah, it is getting harder to build a dynasty, but if the Eagles go back 2 more years in a row and get 2 more wins in a row and be the team that gets the 3 Super Bowls in a row, that's automatically a dynasty, right? You get 3 Super Bowl wins in a row. I would think that's automatic dynasty. So the Eagles got a shot at it. Um, who else is it? San Francisco? I don't think they got a shot at being a dynasty again. Not with Shanahan as a coach. That guy he just screws up, man. Then he screws up and then he blames it all on the defense every time. This fucking idiot. Well, the 49ers have had the talent, and they've been to 2 Super Bowls in recent times, but they lost them both to Kansas City. The Eagles went to 2 Super Bowls in recent times, and they lost one of them to Kansas City and kicked the living shit out of us on the other one. So I'm looking at futures, really, that I think the Commanders could make it a run, bro. They could really, they've got to get past that hump. They got to be able to win in the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl and then win that sucker. Otherwise, there's just no chance, man. Hey, is this Buck or is this Bob? What's up? we got some heavy hitters in the chat here, bro. So, guys, this is Buck right here. Bucktastic, obviously. Bucktastic's pretty awesome. So Buck, one of my favorite callers I've ever had call in. Pretty happy about that. We got a Chiefs fan here. Buck, we're talking about, do you call this Chiefs run over the last 7 years a dynasty? I personally, I might be being a little bit too hard on my team, but I'm saying no, not until I've seen 10 years. After 10 years, I can evaluate it. And then I'll decide if it's a dynasty, but I don't know if I want to call this Chiefs run a dynasty yet. 7 AFC championships in a row. 5 of them went to the Super Bowl. 3 of them we won the Super Bowl. It's pretty stinking tough. That's for any other team, I would say that's a dynasty. But I think I'm nitpicking my team too much and being too hard on them. I'm still going to wait till the 10 years is up. That was my thing. I wanted to see what they did with this 10-year, $500 million man and see how good they do. So after Mahomes' 10-year tenure is up, then I will probably acquiesce and call it a dynasty, because right now they've got the credentials that look like a goddamn dynasty. But I hate to push that on people. It just doesn't feel like I should be pushing that. That's for other people to say. I mean, let's see here. What do we got? I don't think dynasty is defined by a certain period of time, because the quality. Yeah, exactly. But I still, when Mahomes was his first year, we go to the AFC Championship. His first year starting, and we went to the championship, and I was like, "Oh wow, that's the farthest my team's ever been," like in my life. And I was all just jumping around and stuff, and my bros were like, you lost. And I'm like, hey, that's not a loss, man. We made it to a stinking AFC Championship. I don't care if we lost. To me, that was a winning season. That was a complete W. That was the farthest I'd ever seen my team go. And then year 2, Super Bowl ring, and I'm like, okay, sweet, this could be great. We went to the AFC Championship and then actually got to the Super Bowl. And I was thinking right then, hey, this could turn into a dynasty. And I don't remember who it was. Maybe it was my Green Bay Packers buddy Guy. He said, "Is it a dynasty or something?" And I was like, I can't call it a dynasty until I've seen 10 years of play out of this, because these kids are young. My coach is still good and viable. So I want to see 10 years. I guess that's why I put the time on there. And I realize it's not defined by a certain amount of time, but it is defined about a lot of wins. So I'm thinking, like, okay, here we go. At least one more Super Bowl, like before the end of the 10-year stretch, then consider it a dynasty. So Richie Fresh is kind of on my page about that. And this is a guy outside looking into the Chiefs, right? So I respect the shit out of that. That's the way I've been putting it. I figure it's not up to a Chiefs fan to go, look at my dynasty, like I think that's for the other teams to say, is that your team is a dynasty. Like Troy Aikman calling his little stint a dynasty is a crock of shit. He's not allowed to call it that. Now, so many years later, what do you think about Terry Bradshaw? He's got rings, he's got rings, but he's never tried to say it was a dynasty. I think that's almost why I want to call his a dynasty, So here we go. Richie Fresh says, again, Pats were rare because Brady took the cuts among, to bring in the other players, right? Pay cuts. And then he truly cared more about winning, and, not that other teams don't, but it's more about, but it's more about the money. So, yeah, Tom Brady was a freaking genius for that, man. Take less money than any other quarterback so that he could have the better team. Brilliance, bro. Brilliance. And Mahomes did that too. I like that. I like that a lot. I've seen guys like Tua that say, I want to get paid. You pay me my bag. I want as much as Mahomes. Well, you ain't fucking worth it, dude. You're always hurt. You've only had one single season in your entire career that you played the whole thing since you were in high school. Why the hell do you think that you deserve a bag of money? And how about just take a friendly contract, bring in more guys, help them make you look better? Like, pretty sure having the playoff games and, getting an advertisement deal and the extra money on the side that comes with all these wins, that's where you should be like looking for your money. But trying to say, Trevor Lawrence is better than Mahomes, deserves a bigger fucking bag of money than Mahomes, is absolutely mind-blowing. Like that is weapons grade retardation right there, okay? Fuck, pardon my language. When they paid Deshaun Watson for doing nothing, that's just weapons grade retardation right there, man. You know what I'm saying? You like my show, bro? All right, man. All right, bro. I will see you. Hey, thanks, man. Thank you very much. I will. Did he say duck? So I'll try to be there on Wednesday for you. So you guys, Buck, you have a stream on Wednesday. Dude, I always got the notifications on for your stuff. It just pops up in my stream because I always check what's on live in my subs, and I'll be there, bro. I'll be there. So if you got to take off or whatever, got to prep for Wednesdays. All right, bro. Then take care of yourself. Much love and respect. Thanks for stopping in, brother. I think I have weapons grade. Jimmy. I know, right? So me too. Like I said, I've only got 3 brain cells and they wrestle nonstop, dude. It's like fighting. It's like a cat fight. 3 cats fighting in my head all the time. It's bizarre. Leave the window open for a viewer. Nice, dude. So, yeah, nobody's calling in. If you guys want to call in, we'll post that again if you want to. If you want to hop on and chat with me. There you go. You know what, Buck? Is this Bob here, or is this Buck still? Okay. So, yeah, when Buck and Bob came on the other day, we had a hoot. It was so much fun. Those guys are so cool, fellas. They're uh, they're not biased. They're not like, oh, only the Chiefs can be cool. They were very friendly with everybody and stuff. It was awesome. There's Buck. There's Bob. Like, we got both the boys, Buck and Bob. I love Blazing Bobby, but he hasn't taken the number one spot from Buck yet. Buck was a great caller. So, Bob, you're going to have to come back on next Thursday, bro. You're going to have to come back on next Thursday. Are you just going to let Buck take the award? I was just playing, boys. Yeah, we had a hoot. Good fellas. Good fellas. That was an enjoyable time. So, I don't know if, gosh, I don't know if you guys know who this young kid from the Jets is. His name is Connor Long. We have been having a lot of fun on his channel. He's doing some good fun stuff. They're just puppies, man. Like, we've got it's like the prepubescent football show. Nice. That's what I'm talking about, bro. I just wanted to play around. Yeah, that was really fun, Bob. Yeah, that was really fun. Um, yeah, next time get Mel in the chat too, so she can put you boys straight. That girl knows a lot about football. Impressive. It's automatically cool if like a chick rides a motorcycle or has a bitchin' 4-wheel drive or knows a lot about football. That's just like automatically one of the cool girls. All right, boys. So no worries. Go do your prep for your show. You guys' show is pretty awesome, and I bet you it takes a heck of a lot to prep for something like that. Well, and I guess you have to get the Buck and Bob bus to go get all these super famous people you always have on your show. Holy cats. Yeah, the prepubescent football show. You think that's funny, Jimmy? I almost put that in Connor's chat today, but I was like, I don't. These kids are 13. I don't even know if they can read big words like that yet. And if they can, which most likely they're smarter than me, then they might get mad at me for calling them prepubescent. I know, man. I love it too, Jimmy. That's a good time over there. We have a ball on that show. What Connor will absolutely not let you talk football with your heart. He needs facts. He wants all the facts. He wants all of the real. There can be no. He will go off. He will. There can be no emotional involvement with this. He wants 100%. This is the line. We're going to have facts. Everything that you're saying that's on this side of the line, that's not facts. So when did they do it? Prove it. Like you said, take a shot every time Connor cuts someone off and says, when was that? He's never done that. When did he do that? That's so funny. Oh yeah, completely facts based. I am I guess, what do they say? I am a comedic sports personality or something like that. I read it on a thing that like AI wrote about my channel and said something like I was a comedic sports personality, and I don't know why. I guess I don't know why they would say I'm a personality, because I'm kind of a dork. I do like to laugh, and if you guys can get me good jokes, I'll sit here and giggle. Just have me giggling on the screen the whole time, right? I kind of like to do that anyway. If I go on somebody's show and something silly happens, I sit right here in front of my keyboard and I go, can't help it, man. You know, Jimmy, I have been noticing. I have definitely been. Why don't you call in, bro? Call in to the show here. I'd like to get to meet you. Because, like, seriously, I think everybody that's ever been on the show has at least called in once, man. Hey, you drink more sophisticated beer, but do you drink 20 of them a night? Because more sophisticated beer starts getting spendy if you're going to be drinking like that. I was just kind of hoping Bush Light would see me, and then that's the beer I take fishing, you know. So I was like, maybe Bush Light likes me and wants to sponsor me. Like, oh, this guy gets silly. I like beer, makes me a jolly good fellow. I mean, if I could get some like Captain Morgan rum to sponsor me, it'd be a lot shorter shows because I'd be just like asleep after a few shots, right? So I stick to beer. Makes me a jolly good fellow. It helps me unwind, and sometimes it makes me feel mellow. Makes me feel mellow. You are a behind the scenes sort of guy. I have noticed that on Connor's thing. You do have some good chirps, though. I have enjoyed some of your chirps. I think that's what the Canadians call it when they tease, a chirp. But yeah, I can see that. You're more of a behind the scenes sort of feller. Right on. Connor's got some good ones on his chat. Actually, you know what, Jimmy? Everybody I've met from the East, from all the teams, they've all been pretty stinking cool. You know, there's a lot of awesome Bills fans. There's so many awesome Jets fans. Dude, when I go on the Patriots channels, those guys roll with respect, man. They're not out trying to diss on anybody. They just love football, man. They talk good football. Miami fans, they're Miami fans. There's some good ones. There's some bad ones. It's kind of a which one do I have today kind of a thing with the Miami fans, but I like them, you know. I mean, there's a whole family right across the street from me, Miami fans, and we'll go sit over there and talk football, you know, talk about what can Miami do to get better. I think Miami could change coaches and quarterbacks. They would have probably already been deep in the playoffs a few times by now. They've got a quarterback problem. They've got a coach problem. The Bills, I don't see anything wrong with their team or their coaches. They really are one hell of a juggernaut of a team. The Jets making good changes. And so, gosh, you know, Patriots making good changes. So I figure, yeah, I don't hate anyone either, bro. Except the Raiders. But then again, at the same exact time, no matter that there is the rivalry thing between Chiefs and Raiders, there's some guys on that Raiders team that I really like, bro. I mean, I guess it's kind of like a love-hate relationship with all Chiefs fans and all Raiders fans. But I think that'd be about it. Bears fans irritated me a while back when I went to a Bears game. I guess it wasn't really that long ago. It was about 3 or 4 years ago. Went to a Bears game and they fucking booed Andy Dalton. And that made me sick. I was like, what the hell's wrong with you people? All these Bears fans around me booing Andy Dalton. And I'm like, we don't do that. The Chiefs don't boo our own people. You know, we just never have. Even in the bad years, we just never booed our own team. I can't wrap my mind around that, dude. we boo when the other team's coming on the field. It's for fun because it's at the stadium. That's what we do. Oh God, look at this. Oh, here comes the Cowboys or the Browns or whoever's coming out. Oh, it's the Vikings, boo, but it's just for funny because we'll sit right there in the stands and just enjoy the time with whoever's sitting by us, whether they're a Vikings fan or I don't, even a Raiders fan. We'll have good times, man. So there shouldn't be any hate. There's disappointment, I will say. I was disappointed in the Bears fans. I was disappointed in the Bears ownership, They just hose everybody that go there. But I guess that owner from the Bears passed away, so I'm curious to see what the Bears are going to be like with the new ownership. Taking the wheel and driving. Maybe they do better. Maybe they can revamp that old folks' home that they call a football stadium. Go to the Bears game. It's bad enough that it already smells like Geritol and piss, and then you have to sit and listen to them boo their own team. That's just beyond me, dude. I can't respect that. So I guess that's the only one, and it's not really hate. It's more of like ew kind of a thing. Like Ditka was a boss, dude. I'm telling you, bro, they've had great guys. And I would say sometime in the 90s is where I saw the Bears' downfall begin. And they still had some good guys. They just weren't. They weren't building a full team, if you will. I guess they just weren't spending any damn money on anything, man. Always loved the Jets fans. I mean, and if anybody should have the right to boo their own fucking team, right? It'd be like the Cleveland fans and the Jets fans, right? But I didn't see that. So I went to a Jets Patriots game in New Jersey there, and I saw disappointment, but I didn't see anybody lose their love for the team. Like nobody was spiteful about their own team. Yeah, so like, gosh, no matter how bad it's been for Jets fans, they're still pretty cool about it. There's like, ugh, this team, which is totally understandable, but they never went, fuck you guys, And these Bears fans were seething at their team, and I was like, man, that's not good. I don't know if you should be acting like that. Like with all of the sausage that they eat, probably going to give themselves a heart attack if they seethe. Never. Yeah, I can't even think of a team I hated. Yeah, I just don't think I hate anybody because I love football, man. And there's always going to be one guy on that other team that I'll pick out and I'll watch and root for him. I don't know if you guys do that, but if I'm not watching the Chiefs, I'll watch just any random game, and then I'll pick someone, usually a lineman or a defensive lineman, either offense or defensive lineman. I don't think they get enough of the credit for the hard job they got to do. And so I'll pick somebody from the offense or the defensive line and just watch every step. And then I'll cheer for them. I'll hope for them, stuff like that. Red zone. So, what do you mean red zone, buddy? Tell me what you mean by red zone. I know what the red zone is, but I'm curious now. Oh, swear. No, we don't swear at our team. We leave that to Michael Clemens. Yeah, that's pretty silly, bro. Okay, you watch Red Zone when the Bills aren't on. I'll straight throw on whatever team or whatever channel that is playing me a game and just watch those teams because it's all football. Like, so I was one of the people that got basically fucked by that NFL channel, and they jacked my price up. First of all, I had paid for a season, so I had already paid them for the whole season to have that NFL, what was it, NFL Plus Premium or whatever. So I got to watch every Chiefs game, right? And then about week 5, they cut me off and said it was more money after I'd already fucking paid for it. And so, fuck you guys. I'm never buying the NFL Plus ever again. I'll never do that. You guys fucked me. You fucked a lot of people in the country. So I'll just watch what's on the free TV. I don't like watching the streamed games. There's always a bad lag. There's always just shitty. Like that Netflix game that they had. My God, dude, they didn't even show the kickoffs. The fuck are you doing? If you're not going to even show the kickoffs, why the hell are you even showing a game? Because that's one of the major plays of a game. What if there was a kickoff return? We didn't get to see it. You're just going to be like, oh, too bad we had a commercial break because we're Netflix. You know, fuck off, dude. Why do you got commercials when we all had to pay for the stream? You know, isn't that the commercial? Getting everybody to kick in $15 just to have you? You know? So Netflix pissed me off. Let's see. Amazon Prime. They slowly got a little bit better, but they had these commentators on there that were just balls of shit, dude. They were just turd balls, and I didn't like them. So I only watch Amazon Prime if I have to. Like if it's a Thursday game and the Chiefs are going to be on, and that's the only place to watch it. I'm not happy about going on to these streaming sites to watch a football game. I mean, how about leave it good old-fashioned free TV football games? We got plenty of channels, you know? I don't know, man. USFL games? No, I really should, but it's hard to pull me out of the NFL. Because even in the off season, I'm sitting here thinking about the NFL, talking about the NFL. I'm looking up these dudes and seeing how well they did that are coming into the NFL. But yeah, to me, it's kind of like the old XFL, right? Like that shit never worked. It's never gonna work. I mean, might as well watch the CFL. I'll watch the Canadian Football League sometimes if there's a game, but rare, you know. I guess honestly, it's NFL or NHL. You know, I mean, I'll watch a little bit of baseball if it's like the playoffs and stuff, but I can't sit and watch a baseball game on TV. That's like watching fucking paint dry. I never liked basketball. I always thought that was just a pretty stupid sport. I mean, here, why don't you take this down here and you put it in the basket? Do you? Did you put it in the basket? Now, if they were to let the guys in the NBA fist fight like it was hockey, God, I'd be watching every damn game, bro. Every game. But, you know, it's supposed to be a non-contact sport, and you got some guy like Karl Malone out there just elbowing people in the face every single time he's near them. That's kind of a sissy-ass sport, really. Oh, you're tall? Woo! Fancy. Is that your skill? Is that you're tall and you can put this in the basket? Just never really liked it, bro. Yeah, I'd rather watch The Masked Singer. Yeah, there's actually a show on right now. What we got here? Oh, yeah. So the Chiefs are in the midst of figuring out if they're going to revamp Arrowhead or if they're going to go and buy some land over there in Kansas on the Kansas side of the river, put the stadium over there. I went to high school and a little bit of college in Kansas. Then I moved out here, finished up my schools. But I'm totally okay with Kansas having the team. I know it pisses off a lot of the Missouri folks, but it's literally 5 minutes away. You just go across the river and it's right there. Like that river cuts Kansas City into two sides, right? You got Kansas and Missouri. Kansas City's in both. There's just a river between it, you know? So you go over a bridge. Woo. Huh. That should just piss a bunch of people off, shouldn't it? Because they have to drive 5 minutes to a different area where there's not so many crackheads and bums and thieves. Because I gotta tell you, right across the freeway from Arrowhead, there's just bums and thieves and crackheads. Just right across the freeway. Steal all your shit, they'll rob you. It's just not a great part of town. Arrowhead's awesome because the security keeps all of that nice, you know. But used to be you could just get a hotel like right across the freeway. You don't do that anymore. That hotel has been given to the homeless. And so they all just sit over there right across the freeway and fucking smoke crack and steal, you know. So yeah, take it to Kansas. Clear out a swath. All it is flat land over there anyway. So what are they going to do with it? Plant some wheat? You know, I say definitely get a new stadium, because a stadium like the SoFi or like State Farm Stadium or even Allegiant Stadium that the Raiders have, those are freaking nice stadiums, man. What great facilities. And air conditioning. My God, if you've ever been to a preseason football game in a place like Kansas City, Missouri, it is 100% humidity at 100 degrees. And you're sitting outside in it with the sun on you. And you're just drenched in sweat, right? And then in January or December or whatever, it's 20 degrees or 20 below. And then you've got a wind chill factor and it's icy and shit. So you're outside in that. It's kind of like real football shit. But how about we build one of those stadiums that top opens up and then we can do whatever. But I think the only way to host a Super Bowl these days is if you have one of those really fancy new stadiums. Isn't that kind of the way you guys see it trending? Because when was the last open stadium Super Bowl? I can't remember the last outside Super Bowl I watched, man. Unless it was like somewhere really nice out, like Florida or wherever that they're going to have it. Yeah, for real, dude. See, it would be cool to host a Super Bowl, but at the same time, it kind of gives us pride that our team is good enough to play in the weather like that, you know? Because Buffalo come to Kansas City and they don't give a fuck about the cold. They don't give a fuck about the heat, you know? Yeah, we play outside too, whatever, you know? But Miami goes anywhere that is 70 degrees out and they're like, whoa, freezing. Yep, exactly. The Meadowlands. So, oh, when the power went out. So, New Jersey, open stadium. All right. You guys need real grass though. Jimmy, there's something that's got to be done with that field, because I've been on that field physically, walking on the field after a game for like the photo shoot and the meet and greet stuff, right? And well, fuck, I almost pulled my ACL walking across that rotten ass ground up tire that they call fake grass. It's ground up tire. Like they take old tires and grind that shit up until it's these little tiny black BB looking things, and then they put like fake grass coming up through it. That shit is an ankle breaker. It's a ACL terror. It's a knee killer. I mean, that is horrible, horrible shit. And it's no wonder that everybody has to worry when they go to New York to play on that field, man. There's it rains enough. Why the fuck can't you grow some grass? I mean, sure, you're gonna have to dig out like 30 foot of dump from underneath it, because I think that's all they're doing is covering up like a dump or something. But you can import some clean fill and plant some grass, put a sprinkler system out. Everybody else did it. I mean, you can still grow stuff no matter what kind of oils are in the soil. I mean, I it just seems to me that there's got to be a way, because I had a blast at you guys' stadium, the Giants and the Jets stadium. I had a blast there. Awesome people working there. So the staff was it's got to be a hard job with a bunch of pissed off New Yorkers every day, right? But at the same time, the staff was still really cool. That's where the bodies. Yeah. Yep. Smelled like it. That might have been the river. So it was we actually stayed right there on the river at an okay little hotel, but it was like within walking distance of a comedy club. There was places to eat right there. We could see the stadium. I could see it, but it still took like 40 minutes to get an Uber from our hotel and then down to a bridge and then across to it and then through the traffic and then get to the gates at the stadium. And I was like, what the fuck? I felt like I could have just walked across the railroad bridge and been there, But got to tell you, I had a pretty awesome time there in New Jersey. Good folks. I mean, obviously, you guys, there's something good in the water there because you're putting out fellas like Isaiah Pacheco. He's from New Jersey. He's got a lot of talent, Well, I see a lot of guys come out of New Jersey and make it far in the sports. So, I mean, it's not a bad place. Just got a shitty field under it, I would like to see you guys get real grass. I think it would help your team. And the best thing about having real grass, and the guys from Buffalo will understand this too. You get one of these teams that everybody is super, super fast, right? And so there's got to be a way to slow that stinking team down. Well, you grow the grass this long and you leave it long. Then sprinters can't sprint. The slower guys can keep up with them now. It's a trick we used to do all the time to like the Raiders, Chargers, and Broncos. We would just grow the grass extra long and be like, let's see you get away from my defense now, I've always liked just the real grass. I do, however, like a dome if it's in a place like Phoenix. So you go to Glendale, Arizona, to the State Farm Stadium. Great stadium, awesome area. They basically tore down everything that looked even remotely poor and put up something really boss. And so you can walk anywhere you need from the hotel section. There's food, there's entertainment. Oh, look, there's a football stadium, I mean, and it's all within 8 blocks, and I don't mean like really long quarter-mile city blocks. I mean, short blocks, dude, like a neighborhood block, Just everything in walking distance was primo. So I'm all for Kansas City making a new facility, use the dome, leave it open, because you can go to these things and have some of them, they have the opening domes. But like SoFi and Allegiant, they're sturdy. So I think with the high winds and the possibility of the tornadoes and stuff that are in Kansas, I would think that you would want probably a structure that is resistant to that, and I don't know if these dome stadiums really are. Like, what was it? The Superdome that collapsed in the rain? Wait, I'm trying to remember. There was one of the domes, might have been up north in like Detroit or even Minnesota, but they had a whole bunch of rain or snow or something on top of the stadium. It was the old school type that had like a canvas tarp over it. Well, SoFi is not like that, and neither is Allegiant, or neither is State Farm. They've got a good solid roof on there, and it's way the shit up there, dude. It's really high. Yeah, it was the Vikings. That's right. That's right, Richie Fresh. Thank you. It was the Vikings that their stadium collapsed with the snow. Huh? I mean, you could talk. The Superdome, is that the one that's in New Orleans? That's the Superdome in New Orleans, huh? And yeah, that one, I guess it never had a collapse or anything. It got a good bath one time. That's not a funny joke, I guess, but kind of funny. I don't know. I think it'd be neat to have a dome, but at the same time, it's kind of a pride thing, like what the Bills have too. It's kind of a pride thing to be able to play in the freaking cold, you know. And New York is no walk in the park when it's cold out, you know, and so they have to play in the weather too. So I kind of like the old school grass field, old school open stadiums. Underground, huh? So, gosh, for the longest time, I felt like building one of those monolithic dome homes. I mean, sell out this. It's the problem with homes and stadiums and stuff like that are made of wood is it takes one match. You could use one match and you could burn an entire city down because they've got stick framed houses, and it's we're killing trees to make it. But at the same time, if you start using all the concrete, that's just always going to be there and nothing will ever grow there. But you could take one of those monolithic dome homes. Man, they're earthquake proof. They're fireproof. They're flood proof. You know, I mean, lightning's not going to hurt you if you're in one of those monolithic domes. I've always kind of liked the idea of those. And like you say, it's kind of a bunker because you got 2.5 foot thick reinforced concrete dome and underneath you too. It's egg shaped, which causes it to be very strong, you know. It feels like that's a good way to do it. I don't think you're going to be able to do that with a football stadium. But yeah, you could dig down, you could go under. The problem with going into the earth when you build anything, bro, is now you're in the groundwater table. You know, once you're in that groundwater table, it's a whole different string of problems, brother. You know, so I build on top, but build a stadium that can somehow open back up. I mean, a really good build that would be strong enough that could still open. That'd be what I would want for Kansas City. And then the Bills are getting a new stadium, right? You guys are in the process, aren't you? Am I wrong? I thought you guys were building a new stadium. Richie Fresh, are the Bills building a new stadium? I really think they are. I know that that stadium there in Oakland, once it started dilapidating, man, it was going to be a shit ton of money for them to actually be able to stay in Oakland, right? Your stadium is really taking shape, looks amazing. Oh, nice. So they are in the process of building that thing. Awesome, dude. Now, is one of the construction workers going to do do what our guys did over there at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, because one of the Chiefs fans was a construction worker, and way down at the bottom base of it, he laid out a Chiefs flag, and then they built the field on top of that, and so there's it's our stadium. Kansas City at one time was actually had a better record of wins, better than their coach for the Raiders, and it was the Raiders Stadium there in Vegas. Like, we had more wins in that stadium than the Raiders for a while there. That's pretty funny. What's another good stadium here? Yeah, dude, seriously, going to the Chargers game, that SoFi Stadium is unbelievable, boys. It's so nice. I mean, and it's California too, so like nobody's worried about shit. Everybody's super just like laid back and stuff. So that just enhanced everything. And it was the Chargers, so we didn't have to worry about Chargers fans being there and in the way. There's only like 8 Chargers fans, right? There's a couple more came out of the woodwork ever since they got that Harbaugh cat, but okay. That was good football talk. All right, boys. Let's talk about who do you guys want your team to take in the draft? Jimmy, who are you really hoping to get in the draft? If there's anyone. I know I've got high hopes for a couple of guys. Like, I want that Tre'Veon Henderson kid. I think he's a really good running back, and he's got a lot of potential, and he would fit well with my team. I like that offensive tackle named Simmons. He's a great big kid. Where's he out of? Is he out of Ole Miss or Georgia or something? I don't remember where he was out of, but he looked good. Anybody you guys were looking at, like maybe you want your team to trade to get, or Warren? Warren's damn good, dude. Wonder who the Bills would need. The Bills have been fixing a lot of stuff, so I guess you start looking at the older players and who's going to have to be replaced. That defensive line corner, then what? Wide receiver Kyle Williams. You really want Kyle Williams, pretty much, huh? Nice. So I want a tight end. There's a kid named Arroyo that I think that might fall to us. And then there's that Loveland kid, but I don't know if he's the one, because I think he's going to get snagged way before. So I think we're looking at that Arroyo kid from, I think he was Ole Miss. I think he was from Ole Miss. So yeah, I want a tight end and a running back, and we've got tackles. They're just really young. That was the struggle last year, just brand new guys getting thrown to the wolves. Not good for a defensive, an offensive lineman to get thrown out there instantly, because the vets will eat their butt, Who's going to take Shadur Sanders? I wouldn't want him. And I'm starting to see a lot less interest from the other teams, because I just think people are starting to see through the bullshit. Sure, it's fancy that it's Neon Dion's kid, but fucking that kid ain't Neon Dion. I can't see him being more than what Justin Fields was at Chicago, for real. Now, to be fair, Justin Fields was hosed when he was at Chicago. Just completely hosed, man. That was a travesty what they did to him. The moves we made so far are solid. Yeah, for sure. Now, Bosa, is going to be just fine. All right. I'm gonna ease your mind here. I'm gonna put you a little bit of rest about this. Joey Bosa is one tough kid, man. I mean, so is it. Both Bosa boys. Both Bosa boys are really tough. And I don't think they're as injury prone as people think. I believe that if a guy starts getting some years under his belt, you need to ease off on how much you're forcing him to do out there, because once they get tired out there, that's when injuries come. And so if you guys have learned from Von Miller, and you know that you need to rotate these guys and give them a break, you can't just have them pushing for an hour solid, right? I mean, if you guys can learn from that and have a good rotation going, keep him fresh, he'll be fine all year, man. And he's a pain in the ass to play against. I know I like to tease about, oh, you picked the wrong Bosa. You know, you picked the Bosa that gets owned by the Chiefs twice a year his whole career. That's jokes, because he's actually he's a thorn. He's a thorn. And it's hard to pick that thorn out because he's just right there all the time, just digging it in farther, digging it in farther, digging it in farther. He's a hell of a good player. You guys will be fine with Bosa, man. I think so anyway. Let's see. Yeah, you guys made a lot of really good moves, you know. Exactly. In your system? Yeah, exactly. I think he's going to be just fine, bro. I don't think there should be any worries about him getting injured, especially if you just keep him on a decent training regimen. Don't let him get lazy, because as soon as them big boys like that start easing off and trying to figure out a way to be a little bit lazy, they will. They sure will. And I realize that my lazy is different than their lazy. Their lazy is, like, I'm tired, coach. You know, hey, get me out of the game for like a few plays here. My lazy is, fuck, I ain't going. I'm going to stay home and play Xbox. I'm not going to work. That's my lazy. But Joey will show up every day. Even if he's injured, he'll still show up. You guys are set with tight ends, but you never use them. That's kind of a travesty, I think. You guys have Kincaid and Knox, and both of them are high quality tight ends, but you guys just don't play the tight end game. So I think your defense just needed some beef. Beef that defense, get a couple guys in the draft so that you can, definitely draft a wide receiver for sure. I don't think you need to worry about a tight end yet. Maybe next year, grab a tight end. But I think, yeah, your defensive line, your corners, you need some corner help for sure. Yeah, you hit it, Richie. You hit them all right there. You said it already up there. You said defensive line, corner, and wide receiver. That heals up any scars that the Bills might have had, any loose ends. Where the Jets have a very talented roster that just feels like they don't produce what they're worth. But now the Jets have a coaching staff that will make them play to their worth and create plays that enhance their worth. That's going to be fun. Gosh, I hope the Jets do really well, man. Like, I realize that the Bills are the juggernaut, Jimmy. I realize the Bills are a juggernaut. But if you guys get better this year, and like I say, hit 10 wins if you can. Just break 500, get 9 wins, break 500. That will boost the confidence of every single person on the team and in the city, baby. And then next year, the Jets can turn into that thorn for the Bills. Yeah, I hope that happens, man. The problem is now you guys got fucking Vrabel over there at the Patriots, and Chiefs fans love that guy, dude. That's Vrabel is one hell of a coach. I mean, he was a good player back in the day. He was a good position coach, you know. I mean, I think that's gonna suck here in a while because the Patriots are gonna they're not gonna have another dynasty, but they can be a pain in our ass for a while. I think Miami is going downhill, and that's been happening since they took that little cancer Tyreek. So we don't have to worry about Miami for a while. They're going to be broke anyway. They're paying all these people for to do nothing. So Miami has all these guys that go, "Oh, sweet, I'll sign a contract with Miami," but then they don't have to fucking produce anything because nobody cares. Nobody gets on them about, "Hey, why aren't you producing?" No, they just fucking hang out at the beach. Oh, maybe I'll make it to practice. Oh, I'm late. Speed to practice, get pulled over. Yeah, the Pats do have more holes than the Jets, but they've also got Vrabel and the most money of any team in the NFL. So patches, patches fixing holes. They're gonna have they're gonna have a good picks in the draft because apparently Rodgers is the guy you want if you're gonna tank. He'll just fucking be injured or go on darkness retreats, so you don't have to worry about him getting to know your team. So, what do you think about Rodgers? I'm curious about this. What do you guys think about Rodgers not getting a job? I think it's fucking great. I think that's his punishment for being a douchebag and going on his little retreats and never getting to know the teams that he wants to go to. Because he was going to do the same thing as the Steelers. He was going to go, I don't feel like coming into any of the practices, so nah, I'm going to be like in Egypt or wherever this time. I think, yeah, enjoy your time off. Well, how about just take the rest of your life off there, bud? Aaron Rodgers, shame on you. You were supposed to be the veteran, the leader, a guy my age that goes to the company and teaches the younger guys the tricks, okay? But you didn't do a fucking thing for those younger guys. Shame on you. I go to my work and I give help to all these younger guys, teach them the little tricks to make it easier on them so that they can get it done better and faster and a better looking job done, you know. But shame on you, Aaron. You don't give a fuck about anybody but yourself. So enjoy sitting at home and watching the games like we have to do. Just waste your talent because you're a lazy bastard. Fuck off. Fuck Aaron Rodgers, man. I hope nobody ever even wants to get him as a backup. Nobody wants his narcissistic attitude. See, he is just a prick. I'm not the only one. Oh, good. I was wondering if I was the only one that thinks he's kind of a narcissistic prick, I think it serves him right, man. What's he say? Yeah, a little longer, huh? It's paying off. The Saints need a quarterback, but why in the fuck would they want that? He's not going to fit in there. I mean, first of all, the Saints have coaches that are going to be like, okay, we're going to need you to come to the practices and get to know the guys. We're going to need you to be here at the rookie training camp, at all the mandatories, and Rodgers is going to go, no. So I would make Rodgers, if he was, hey, I'll take the job at the Saints. If he said that, I would say, all right, but you're going to sign this contract. You miss one fucking practice, that's half of your, that is half of your whole contract. If you don't produce this much, that's the other half of your contract, and you will have ended up playing here for free. That's what I would say to him. Name recognition used to sell tickets, but right now, bro, if somebody sees that Aaron Rodgers is going to be on a team, well, you just know that team's going to fucking lose. So why in the hell is that selling tickets? I want to go see Rodgers? Go see him do what? Sit on the fucking bench? I mean, see him do what? Only get his yards in garbage time? Like at the fucking very end of the game against third and fourth stringers? Come on, man. That's all Rodgers did, dude. There's people that say, oh, he had good stats over the years or over that last run with the Jets. Yeah, but he got them all in the last, minute and a half of games when they were already too far behind to be even getting wins. Everybody knew what he was going to do. Everybody knows exactly what Aaron Rodgers is going to do when he's on the field. He's not a fucking threat anymore. He's like a burned out ass, greedy, only thinks about himself fucking joke. He's a fucking joke, dude. Would you rather see? Hang on, let's go to this one first. Yeah, I think Sanders will go to the Saints, and I think he'll start. And yeah, especially with Carr's injury for sure. We got this one here. Let's see. Jimmy says, "Would you rather see Rodgers play or?" I mean, Shane Rattler is pretty cool, actually, and that's seriously. I like that kid, but I wouldn't want anything to do with Aaron Rodgers, man, at all. That guy, he's just a waste of time, dude. He's a waste of time. It's all about himself. What we got going on here? OGAG podcast. Dude, we don't give a shit about that, man. You can just take your Diddy stuff and go somewhere else, man. We talk football. That crap that you're talking about is nothing we care about. Yeah. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and we're gonna get rid of you because I don't need anything that has to do with P. Diddy. How you like that? OGAP, whatever. Like, no, I don't give a fuck about Diddy at all. That guy, there's nothing that I even care about that conversation. So, yeah, for real. Like that was a hard read, man. That first of all, learn how to fucking type user-friendly chats so that we can understand what the hell you're saying. Obviously, your little podcast isn't going to go far. Mine's not going far, but I don't care. I'm not trying to be monetized. I just like hanging out with cool people and talking about football. But if you're going to bring up crap like that, I don't care. I don't need to hear his stuff, Jimmy. I'd rather talk to you about Aaron Rodgers or Shane Rattler. So, for real, I think I would take Joe Flacco over Aaron Rodgers any day. Any day. Joe Flacco is the better quarterback. He's better than Aaron Rodgers. And I don't know why nobody's ever pointed that out to anybody before, because people think that Flacco's kind of a joke. He's a backup quarterback or whatever. But he's got a ring, And he's cool. Like that's cool Joe, And he's a guy you can count on. That Flacco is going to be there practicing with those new rookies. He's going to be there every day for every practice, even if he's not the starter. He's still going to be there and be trying hard. Even at his age, be trying hard. Rodgers will never do that. So, yeah, I say Joe Flacco is the better quarterback for sure. All around better quarterback, too, because what's Rodgers got? One ring. That's what Joe's got. What else has Rodgers done? MVP? I mean, it seems like the MVP has turned silly. They just pick a quarterback and give it to the quarterback every time when we know that there's better players in other positions. Josh Allen, I'm going to exclude from that little bit because Josh should have had Lamar Jackson's second MVP. That was Josh's MVP. We all knew it. Josh was better than Lamar, is better than Lamar. And so, yeah, I think it's goddamn travesty that it took so long for them to go, oh, fuck, I guess we kind of have to give it to a good player for once, and then they gave it to Josh, right? And then other people were going, "Oh, you know that Lamar was better." Fuck no, I don't know that Lamar was better because Lamar's a little bit weak, a little bit weak in playoffs, you know. And Josh, he beats people in playoffs until he hits against the Chiefs. But I mean, Lamar has never got as many wins against the Chiefs as Josh Allen. Josh has the most wins against the Chiefs, I believe, of all the quarterbacks. I think he's got the most wins against this Kansas City Chiefs team. So yeah, he's definitely better. Do I think Saquon earned it? So you know what? No, I think it was Josh's fucking MVP. Saquon, if he does it again, MVP. If he can put up numbers like he did last time, MVP. But just getting lucky and getting on a team that is that good, and that getting on a team that is so good that it can open up holes for a guy to run the ball and get away, that's pretty boss. Yes, Saquon had flashes of the greatness, and goddamn, he's actually, between him and Josh, it was a hard choice. But I think maybe in my heart of hearts, this is my problem, is I look at this stuff and I have emotions in it, you know, instead of going like Connor does with logic, facts, you know, and stats and stuff. But I have emotions in it. And Allen should have already had an MVP. Should have already had it. And he played definitely good enough this year. God, he had like the least interceptions like ever or something, right? And so, yeah, Josh deserved it. Saquon did fantastic. But I'm not going to say that he deserved more than that one, because he didn't do that anywhere else. You know, that was the team that made him look so good. Can he do it on any other team? I think you put Allen on any other team, he's going to get an MVP, you know. Saquon, obviously not. That's already been proven. He can only jump to better teams to get himself to look better. When Allen started out with a mediocre at best team, and his rookie year, he did pretty okay. The next year, a little bit better. The next year, a little bit better. Next year, a little bit better, right? So, in my opinion, Josh deserved every bit of that MVP, man. Prove it, Jimmy. I know it's so hard to prove sometimes. Yes, I concur, Doctor. Allen and the Bills are literally the Chiefs' only threat and the only team that has given them fits. No other team has come close if you look at the numbers and the records, etc. That's what I preach every single time, dude. For real. For real. This is the only real proven rival to this Kansas City team. Joe Burrow was a one and done. That's proven. He's a one and done. Lamar, never going to get there. Maybe he will. I can't say never, but hasn't gotten there yet. All he's ever proven is that he fucking chokes in playoffs. Like, he poops his pants. Literally. But yeah, the Bills are the only true proven rival right now in the AFC. A lot of people want to say, oh, this team is the rival to the Chiefs, or that team's the rival to the Chiefs. Well, like Jimmy said, prove it. Like Connor would say, prove it, you know. Well, the Bills have proved it. That's literally the only team that beat us last year. That's the only team that beat us last year until we got to the Super Bowl. I mean, you can say, oh, the Broncos beat you, but dude, we put in fourth stringers, you know, like we had practice squad guys in that game. I mean, yeah, a lot of teams came close, but we were 15-2, and we sat all of our guys in the second loss. The only real loss was to the Bills, and you guys whooped us like fair and square. I mean, we always play good, hard-nosed football games. Everybody watches the games between the Bills and the Chiefs. It's awesome. I got a feeling the Jets are going to be up there in the mix one of these days. I've always wanted to see a Jets and Chiefs AFC Championship game. That's like, oh man, that's what I really want. Jets and Chiefs AFC Championship game would be a hoot for me. I mean, that'd be my favorite team and my second favorite team. I can't even say that the Jets are my second favorite team. That's my second favorite fan base. Chiefs being my favorite fan base. I love the Jets fans, man. That's my friends. I know people think I'm kind of odd for being like that. My best friend's a Bills fan, and so honestly, Bills fans are right up there too. So I love you guys, man. It's all love, you know. Mike Tyson reference. It's all love. Can the Chiefs win with that? Are you shitting me? All right, I'm going to pull a Connor on you. Prove it. Prove one. Show me one that wasn't an actual penalty, Jimmy. Which one was not actually a penalty? Was it a regular season game? Oh, called back interception against the Jets. What was that, week fucking 5 or 2 years ago? Like 2 years ago? I think I really, and honestly, if you watch the footage of that, sorry, but it was a foul. You got to learn how to not foul, not cause penalties when it counts. So at the end of the game, don't get penalized. In the playoffs, don't get penalized. You know? That's the game I'm talking about. Zach Wilson almost beat us. That's the exact game I'm talking about. He did almost beat us. You're right. That's a fact. Zach Wilson almost beat us. Almost. Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, right? And then literally right after that, Zach just all of a sudden became hated by everybody. You guys had his back against the Chiefs, but then you didn't have his back against anybody else. That's one thing I always thought was kind of messed up, because I liked Zach Wilson, and I thought maybe if the fans could rally behind him, show him some love, you know, like show him some support. It really helps a young kid like that that's thrown to the wolves. And he was literally thrown to the wolves. You like hand grenades? So, yeah, another thing I'm disappointed in with Zach Wilson was he was supposed to be hooking me up with some of his mom's friends, and he never did. Like, dang, dude. Zach's mom and all of her friends were smoking hot, dude. Can you blame him? So you're saying Zach's now in Miami sleeping with the moms. So what do you do? Take Tyreek's job? Oh man. So what's going on with Tyreek Hill? Are they getting rid of him down there? I think they're going to end up trying to trade his ass somewhere. I don't want him at all. I don't think he has a place here. I don't think he has a place in Kansas City. He burned that bridge, and he's slower. We already know. Here's an example. We already know, as the Chiefs fans and the whole Chiefs organization knows this. As soon as the ball is snapped, you hit Tyreek in that first 5 yards. Just hit him every fucking play. And by about the second quarter, he's going to be limping on the sideline in front of his coach saying, "Oh, coach, oh, my foot, my foot." Every fucking time. As soon as he's getting beat, or as soon as he's getting punked because he's a little tiny pussy, as soon as he gets punked, he just starts his fake ass limp thing. But he wanted all the money, and he sure took it from Miami and didn't have to do a damn thing for it, did he? What's he done in Miami? Nothing. Well, did they use him just to get other receivers open? I mean, come on, man. If Tyreek was an average citizen like us, oh yeah, dude, oh yeah. He is a pregnant woman beating child abuser who frivolously knocks up shit tons of chicks because he doesn't care. Then he beats up his old lady, like his wife, because she finds out he's knocking up all these other whores. And then he goes down to the docks and they're going to be renting a yacht. And then the guy's not done cleaning the yacht. And the guy's like, "Hey, hang on a second. I got to clean up some more stuff." And so he fucking beats up the guy that's cleaning the yacht. What a punk little bitch, dude. I hope Tyreek just runs really fast off into the forest somewhere and we never see him again. He's a punk. He's just a total punk, dude. Don't like him. Don't respect him. Sure as hell don't want him back in Kansas City. You guys can have him if you want. It's not like he's going to do much for you. He'll just take your money and not do shit. And then all of a sudden, a bunch of girls in your neighborhood would be pregnant. I'm sorry. I can't help it. I just don't like Tyreek Hill, man. It was novel at first, but like when he first got there, he was basically on probation because he beat up his pregnant old lady while they were in college. And so nobody wanted him in the NFL. Andy Reid likes to try to be the Captain Save a Punk, you know? I'm Captain Save a Punk. Oh, I see you were a punk ass in college. Well, you can't do it here. We'll give you an opportunity, you know? And then he got his opportunity, but he was still a jackass. And I got to tell you, it was when he broke his own son's arm because he was abusing the kid. That's right when it was done with us. Get him the fuck out of here, man. We love our kids. We love your kids. We love all kids. We love women. We take care of our women. We take care of your women. We take care of their women. We should all, as men, be able to take care of the women and children and make it a safer place for them. Beating them because you're a tiny little wussy man. Fuck you, Tyreek. You and Aaron Rodgers can both go fuck off, you know? I know Aaron Rodgers isn't a woman beater, but he's just a lazy shit. And to me, if you're a lazy ass, you're in the same category as that other kind of piece of shit, you know? It's all pieces of crap, so Hill's new emoji. Yeah. I think he's got more kids than that by now. Damn. Yeah, Tyreek Hill could kick rocks, but then he'll just fake a limp after that. So I don't even want him to kick rocks. I just want him to go away. Just go away, dude. You're going to act like Antonio Brown? Who the fuck's going to want you? You're acting like Antonio Brown, bro. And we all noticed what happened with that mess, that dumpster fire of a human being. Oh, and blame it on getting hit in the head. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I've been hit in the head a lot, like a lot. All over my head. There's lumps everywhere. I got shit that sticks out that'll never be healed. You know, my ears have been broken. I tuck them up underneath my hat because it's weird seeing an ear fucking flip down like this because it's been busted. My nose has been broken a few times. Look at this honker. Last doc straightened it out pretty good, but I mean, look, I've been in car wrecks so bad it broke my neck. So yeah, that sports injury thing, I've had lots of sports injuries too. I mean, I played football, I wrestled, and I ran in track. You know, shit. Sometimes it's hard for me to think of something to say because my brain's been rattled so many times. And yeah, it's made me a little bit maybe aggressive in certain situations. But man, you don't you don't beat women and children. That's not on a sports injury. That's on you as a man. Like that's fucked up shit. I don't like it. I'm against it, and I won't even think twice about trying to be friends with somebody that acts like that. And I won't be friends with somebody that's a lazy piece of shit either, Aaron Rodgers. You fucking douchebag. So yeah, Tyreek's a douchebag. Rodgers is a douchebag. Sounds like that guy from the Ravens is kind of a douchebag too. Watson is a douchebag. Um, I mean, we can go all the way back, dude. There's lots of them. Ben Roethlisberger, douchebag. Rapist, douchebag. Fuck you guys. Fuck all those guys that are like that. Ray Lewis, murderer, and you still got to play in a Super Bowl because you said, "Oh, I love God. I'm going to be a preacher." Really? You hid behind God after you fucking murdered somebody, and they still let you play in the Super Bowl. Fuck you too, man. I just don't like it, man. Lighten of a Marlboro, bro. So, yeah, I didn't smoke back then, allegedly. Oh yeah, allegedly. Ray Lewis, allegedly, right? Nah, he killed him. He was part of that, part of a murder. It's fucking. I don't like that. I don't like people like that. Like when that guy punched his old lady in that elevator, and we had to watch that shit, dude. Ugh. He knocked her clean out. She was a look. She was a bitch. She was acting like a bitch. But you are a fucking football player. You're one of the biggest dudes in the country, and she's a tiny little tiny girl, skinny girl, and you're gonna full on give her one, dude. Mm-mm. That wasn't a Chiefs player. I'm trying to remember who that was. Ray Rice. It was, yes, Ray Rice. Maybe it's guy's named Ray. I mean, that's I can't. Nah, it's not guy's named Ray. I know guys named Ray that are actually super fucking awesome. No, Ray Rice was a douchebag for sure. God, that's why when this shit came out with Xavier Worthy, I was like, god damn it, here we go. But then that kid turned out to be just a genius. He had all this shit on camera, and he had a private investigator and shit. And it was proven that she's just a gold digging piece of shit, cheating whore, and fuck that chick, Just and Worthy did it right. Had her removed, asked her to get out. All the cameras were on in the house. She tried to extort him. I'll tear up this award you got from Kansas City, or I'll break it. And he's like, just put it down and just get out of the house. You're not welcome here. Smash, And she comes over and pulls his dreadlocks out, right? Like completely out. Still didn't beat her up. So put that bitch in jail for these false allegations, Middle name is Ray. Jimmy Ray Jets. I'm going to call you Jimmy Ray. I'm just kidding. Now, it can't be the name Ray because I know like 4 Rays that are actually awesome as shit, dude. Super cool. So I think it's just punk asses like Ray Lewis and Ray Rice making that name sound bad. Jimmy Ray. You think that's funny? I mean, I've got some animosity, I guess, towards people that act like that. And then, I mean, I'm not completely innocent. I've been an asshole before, right? I mean, in plenty of times in my life, I'm in my mid 50s, so I've had a lot of opportunities to do it. But at the same time, man, you're beating kids and women? Wait, what? I go down to the biker bar and get in fights with fucking men, like tough men. And you know, ain't nobody immune to an ass whipping. I've taken a couple, right? Just come on, you know. Jimmy Ray sounds like a smooth jazz player. It really does, dude. It really does. Like, oh yeah, dude. Like Jimmy Ray Vaughan. Like Stevie Ray Vaughan. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with these guys. I know that there's a way to be a higher quality human. You know, there's just a way to be a higher quality human. I mean, even if you ain't got a lot of money, or even if you ain't party, or even if you ain't like one of the cool guys or anything, you can still be nice to each other, you know, and make the world a little bit better. Um, I get some animosity in my life now and again. You gotta take off too, bro. It is 9 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock here, so it's like 11 o'clock. You guys back east, huh? Okay, yeah. I think we will give it a shutdown. Does anybody want to pop off anything last, or should we just call this a pretty fun night? Because I had a good time, boys. And I appreciate you guys being in the chat. Jimmy, I hope you come back Thursday. We'll be doing it at the same time. So 8:30 Eastern on Thursday night, we do the After Work podcast, which this show basically is after work hangout. And we just get together and we talk about whatever's going on, man. Whatever we can find to talk about. And there's plenty because the NFL has lots of juice, bro. You can swing that? Ah, yeah. Sweet, bro. Well, then, fellas, much love and respect. Thanks for coming out. And I will see you guys Thursday. Peace.